Hello, welcome back. I am Abby, and our episode this week focuses on the supporting cast member to Explorer of Cups, Knight of Cups, with this invitation for March of living with beauty, grace, and ease. And our supporting cast member is Seven of Wands. I'm using the Spacious Tarot again. So Seven of Wands, this is an energy that I know well. Seven of Wands depicts those times where we get pulled into the fiery energy. Like if you're a fire sign, you probably know this energy well. It can come up when we feel defensive, when we are comparing ourselves to other people, to other people's lives, successes, to the social media scrolling that all we see is the good in people's lives, and it's not actually reality, and yet it's so easy to compare. There's also can be a sense of competitiveness, like, oh, I want to do this before somebody else does, or I need to prove myself, or however competitiveness shows up for you. There can be a variety of ways. And there's just sort of like a little bit of bracing around the heart. And this is not to say that this is going to happen, like I'm forecasting this. No, this happens all the time. Like, let's be honest, it does. Like, if you use social media, you've experienced it. So it's not a promise of what will be or will not be, because everything that exists in tarot exists in life already every day. And this card is coming forward so that we can elevate ourselves above it, work with it, and become a little bit more wise around our reactions and responses that are already there. So wherever this hits home for you, wherever you get that kind of stab of, the need to protect yourself, defend, the need to compare, feeling less than, feeling not enough. That's another big indication of this card is whatever we feel like we're not enough in, it's medicine for that. It's medicine to trust. When we see this card, it can invite us back into that connection with something greater than ourselves, with whether that's God, divine, the universe, your higher self, nature, Mother Earth, whatever that is for you. It can invite us back into trusting that. And we can sort of offer up the resistance, the competition, the comparison, the defensiveness. We can offer that up, and we can consider, what would it be like to trust that I'm enough? It's a great journaling prompt too around this not enoughness. Sometimes just free writing, getting it all out on paper so that it doesn't stay in your head, doesn't stay in your body, can be very useful. And we want to tie this in with the energy of March, of living with greater ease and beauty and grace. So whenever you feel in the next 2 weeks, or anytime, this is not contingent on a date. This is useful medicine for any time in your life. Whenever you're feeling that not enoughness or comparison or competitiveness or the need to defend yourself or your position, it's a beautiful opportunity to take a step back and ask yourself, how can this be easier? How can I find trust within myself? Because so often we're looking at things outside of ourselves as the problem or as the savior, right? Like, if I just achieved this, then I'd be okay. That can happen a lot in the 7 cards in tarot, in any 7. It's like this if-then thinking, and that's a trap. It's not true. It has to do with inner work. when it comes down to it. So oftentimes when there is that twinge of jealousy or that pain of comparison, it's an invitation to come inward and to explore, like, what am I afraid of? Like, what am I afraid that I'm going to miss out on? Or what am I afraid that there's not enough of for me? And these are not truths. They feel like truths. They feel like they're real, and they are real in the sense that they're showing up for us, but feelings are not facts. And so it's a great fact check for us to explore that inner terrain of, you know, I'm pushing this out on other people, and yet let me bring it home to me, and let me explore the vulnerabilities within my heart, within my body, within my psyche. And how can I meet myself there? How can I find grace with myself? How can I be gentle and not judge that I'm being judgmental, or not judge that I'm being competitive, and just give myself some grace? So these two cards of the month can go really quite beautifully together. And as I mentioned in the last episode for March, Explorer of Cups can come up when it can be a great aid or of great use for us when there's difficult energy. And Seven of Wands can be some of that difficult energy of just every day that maybe we don't tend to or pay attention to, and yet we're being invited to pay attention, to notice, to feel, to explore, and to kind of diffuse some of that fire, and change how we're pointing that wand. You know, so easy to point at other people, but let's bring it back inwards to ourselves, because there's usually some kind of a wound, you know, there's some kind of a hurt, pain, a fear, and that needs to be explored and loved on, so that we can feel like, hey, we're enough. It's okay to trust, and there's nothing that I can miss out on. Like, whatever is meant to be mine is mine, and I cannot miss that boat. It will come back around if I say no. So just trusting in that energy, trusting in yourself and your own ability to be there for yourself, to care, to let things be easier, and see where that takes you, see how you feel. And I'd love to hear about your experience. Drop a comment below. If you haven't signed up for my newsletter at abbybethcarter.com, please do. There's a new grief offering this month, and next month there'll be some exciting announcements as well. So I will talk to you in 2 weeks.